independent British journalist Tommy Robinson has been released from prison.
Robinson had been sentenced to jail for 18 months after he admitted he breached a court injunction. A young Syrian refugee named Jamal Hijazi had sued Robinson for libel after Robinson made a documentary called Silenced.
That film apparently portrayed Hijazi as a violent bully, and the British High Court had barred Robinson from repeating those libelous claims. Robinson admitted that he continued doing it anyway.
After his release, Robinson praised ex-owner Elon Musk. Let's watch.
I have never been convicted by a jury. Every one of my convictions have been handed down to me by judges. I have to say a thank you to Elon Musk, because without X, if we didn't have X, everyone would just think I lied. No one would have got any other narrative. Fortunately, I think, 167 million people saw the truth. So that gagging order, these attempts at censorship, to silence, to cancel people, it hasn't worked.
Chairman of the Great British PAC, Ben Habib, wrote on X, Tommy Robinson was jailed for showing a film, a civil case turned criminal by political decree. This isn't about whether you like him, it's about whether you're okay with the state deciding who gets free speech and who gets prison.
Meanwhile, others weren't so happy. Roshan Salih, editor of British Muslim news site 5 Pillars, wrote, quote, "The riot inciter Tommy Robinson has been released from prison. He should be immediately charged over his role in the Southport riots last year. The fact that he has got away with this is scandalous. That's two-tier policing right there."
We're going to disagree on this one.
I already know.
This is someone, again, who said things that I actually don't know the underlying factual nature of them, but fine, let's accept that they are false. The remedy for if you make a false statement about someone, a false statement of fact, they can sue you, and that's all fine. Didn't need to be a criminal matter.
Which he did.
You shouldn't go to prison for making claims that are false, and that's why it becomes a free speech issue, and Elon Musk has been very active in calling for his release on X, and so I think that is a good accomplishment. It has nothing to do with the claims Tommy Robinson has made. I don't hold with them. I don't think you should accuse random people of things that aren't true, but we shouldn't jail people for that. And if other people engage in violence because of things that you said that were provocative, that's again, they should be jailed for that. That's not on him. We hold the perpetrators of violence responsible, not the people for speech.
I love that, because the people yelling "kill the Boers" in South Africa are not the perpetrators of violence. So Elon Musk should understand that wholly and keep his consistent stance. I love that you said that.
Actually, I was going to bring that up exactly. So you know that I did not call for people chanting "kill the Boer" to go to prison. I just said maybe that's not a good, effective advocacy slogan. I was
but
just
Elon Musk did call for them to go to prison, but calling for this man to get out of jail. So it's selective. It's very selective on Elon Musk.
I would say the selectivity runs the other way, in that people will say, liberals are saying Tommy Robinson believes in jail for provocative statements he made, but "kill the Boer," it's just a political slogan. What are you talking about? It's fine.
Tommy Robinson.
That's the hypocrisy.
Tommy Robinson was not silenced. He was held accountable. So he defamed a teenage Syrian boy by falsely accusing him of things that weren't true. And then this kid was bullied. He was abused. He had issues in school. He dropped out. His family fled their home. Like, what are the repercussions of your lie and libel continuing to repeat itself? Nothing. Like, you terrorize this family, basically. And he has no repercussions. And this isn't his first offense. So he's talking about, I've never been convicted by a jury. He has assaulted someone. He has been convicted of fraud, like contempt of court. These are just all the list of things that he's done in the past. And so he is not this noble stand-up citizen that needs to be honored and praised.
I didn't say he was. I just said he shouldn't be in jail for his speech.
I applaud him for galvanizing millions of people on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Great job for you, but that does not mean you're correct. Just because your echo chamber is big doesn't mean that it's correct. And so we know sometimes X, whether for my perspective or yours, can just be this revolving door of echo chamber and people that agree with you, which is not helpful. That doesn't mean that you're right or you did not break the law. And so I just think I have no sympathy for somebody that has done this level of, he created the documentary after he was told to stop saying these lies.
By the government.
Yes, because
I think it's noble to keep speaking even when the government orders you not to.
Yeah, but
I do think there's
he's
a good
committing
thing.
a crime, which is libel, because this person.
Okay, right now Trump, the government, is ordering CBS to stop speaking, and you're saying it is good for them to
This
resist.
isn't another country. We don't follow other countries'
Alright,
rules.
well.
That's your suggestion, that we should follow other countries' rules. So I'm just saying he has to abide by the laws in his country. You know, that's all I'm saying. That he shouldn't. A teenage boy should never suffer because of your
What do
opinion.
you mean he has to abide by the laws in his country?
That's why he was in jail. The laws
he
that
does,
you go
in
to jail
fact,
for
but that
committing a
is-
crime.
Okay, but the law can be unjust. You have to, if you live in a totalitarian country, you have to abide by the law.
Does Europe
Doesn't mean
have
the
any
law is right.
totalitarian countries? Come on now.
Europe, I think the UK and the European Union's speech-related policies are quasi-totalitarian. I don't really have a problem with other policies, but they police they do. They police speech more aggressively. They don't have the First Amendment. They arrest you. They can confiscate your technological devices for making provocative or contrarian or inflaming statements.
Well, he should move then. He should move to the U.S.
Yeah.
He has no remorse or regard. He said he's going to make another documentary. Who knows if it's going to be about the same little boy? Like, your vendetta should not fall on the back of a family that's now been displaced because of your antagonistic behavior. That's like borderline harassment at this point.
Okay, and then they can.
So is
then
harassment
they
a
can
crime?
sue for harassment.
Is harassing someone a crime? If somebody was harassing you to the point that you couldn't live,
I
in
get
your
harassed
place.
all the time. Probably
No,
so.
I
too.
get harassed in the
I'm
comments.
Sure, well, yeah, I'm sure you get harassed in the comments. We're big boys and girls.
Yes.
We get plenty of criticism on all sorts of platforms. And
His
that's
videos
fine.
about the young boy led to
That's
abuse.
the young boy. I don't know very much about this person's specific situation. I don't think, random civilian, the level of harassment that you and I and public figures are expected to endure is a lot higher than a random person who is not otherwise noteworthy.
A child, not a person. They say child.
Yeah, okay, that was bad and wrong, and that person is entitled to restitution. But if you're being harassed by other people, it's those people. It's not, or if he's being bullied, then the school system has to do something for him. Again, it's not. The perpetrator of the wrong is the person in the wrong, not some nebulous third party.
I want to be keeping this in my mind forever for any subject that comes up. I really want to make sure that the stance is consistent. And I also just want to hold people accountable. I want to make sure that Elon Musk keeps consistent
I don't want to put people in
stances.
jail.
Right. We
I
don't
don't
need
like
to put,
to
you
put
said
people in
violent.
jail.
I agree with your statement earlier. That
I guess
violent
I'm the real
criminals
lefty because I don't like putting people in jail.
Violent criminals should go to jail. But I also don't think
criminals.
that you should repeat false allegations about somebody that cause them harm and cause them to displacement. These are all things that are major issues, and so repercussions should be made, especially if you're living in a country like the UK where this is not something that's allowed. And we are not running the UK. Unfortunately, I know Trump wants to run Canada, UK, and every other country, but we're not. And so he lives there, but he needs to move if he doesn't like it.
I'd also want to look closer at what specifically the statements were that are alleged to be false. I have a very high bar. To my mind, things got to be really, really, really objectively false, even before I would want them legally actionable, because we disagree on what is false and what is true. And so that is always going to be a method. I mean, from a purely, absolutely free speech perspective, I said this on the show before. Niall was taken aback when I said it. I'm not even sure in my ideal world I would have libel and defamation as a category of exceptions to free speech. I am really a free speech maximalist.
That's extreme.
I know it's extreme, and a lot of people don't agree with me, but I don't even think necessarily that those should exist. So
Okay, well,
that doesn't mean everything you're going to hear is going to be true. It just means you gotta decide for yourself, and you gotta consider other sources of information. That you can't trust a government or a legal system that if somebody said it and no one gets sued for it, it's true. No, that's not the way it's going to be.
You should work with Trump and tell him that so that he can allow the press to do its job and not be offended and sue them because they disagree with him.
I think we should all sue people a little bit less when we're just mad or offended or in a bad mood. Lots more to talk about on Rising. Stay tuned.